Morning YouTube, Mike Walgman here, Mushroom Rangers. Today we're going to be going over how to make 5-pound blocks and 8-pound blocks, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you my 3 best ways to get started mushroom cultivation. So without further ado, let's get started. So today we're making 5-pound blocks, and how you calculate your field capacity for the amount of weight you want for your blocks is, say you want 5-pound blocks. So all you do is you take 5 or whatever number you want, say 8 for me, 8-pound blocks. I want it to be 60% field capacity, so I just take 8 and multiply it by 0.6, which gives me my ratio, the 4.8 pounds of water to the 3.2 pounds of pellets. Now for 5-pound blocks, you just do the same, 5 times 0.6, and you get 3 pounds of water and 2 pounds of substrate. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. So you get your container, whatever it is. I have a Brita water filter. It's just lying around, so I use that. If you don't have a Brita water filter, you can go to Walmart and just get you one of these for $3. So if you have a scale, you obviously put it on your scale and then you tear it out. Once you tear it out, you get your substrate. So I'm looking for 2 pounds of substrate. Just a little bit over. Oh, it's close enough. 2.015. It's really not that big of a deal. If it goes over or under a little bit. Put it in your... Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the water. So make sure, if you don't have it, you can get some hydrated lime. Again, the lime just bumps up the pH level. It just acts as a buffer to further ensure that you get higher sterility. I'm going to pressure cook these, so I mean they're going to be pretty sterile, but just in case, I'm bumping up the pH to make sure that there's a buffer zone against contaminations. Contaminations don't like to or won't thrive in a high pH environment, but mushrooms do. So you want the hottest water as possible, because the hotter the water, the faster the pellets break down. So this way is only if you're getting started. I mean, if you want to run a business, doing it this way, it's going to take you forever to make how many blocks that you need to make. Say you want to grow like 20 pounds of mushrooms and you need like 15 blocks. I mean, it'll take you a considerable amount of time by yourself. So this is just for the hobbyists, just to get started. Just to get some success under your wings, and just to learn how to cultivate mushrooms. Oh, so 2.480. .940. Not exact, but that should get me where I want. It's much easier with two hands. And you're going to want to leave your bags. If you're doing it by the sink, you want to leave your bags in the sink, because you see all the soupy mess. Sometimes if you put it somewhere where it's not level or it shifts, it will spill out and you will have a mess all over the place. So this is what they look like when they've been sitting around for a few minutes. So we're at 5.035, which is a little over 5, but it's close enough. Again, even if you do it with a machine that's repeatable, you're going to have variance. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to be under, over, right on. So now, if you don't have a weight, a scale, produce scale like I do, you still get a Brita water filter, and everyone has one of these. So for you out there, if you have a Brita water filter, or you can go to a yard sale or the thrift store and find one, go right ahead. So for this, you're just going to measure up 3 3/4 inches to the top of the tape. That's where you're going to put your line for your 5-pound blocks. Now if you want to make 8-pound blocks, you have one of these, you just measure up 5.5 inches, and that'll get you to where you need, whether you're making 5 or 8-pound block. The difference in the weight is the succession of flushes. Like a 5-pound block will get you a nice flush, but it won't get you as big as a flush as an 8-pound or a 12-pound block. Obviously, the more substrate, the more availability of food, the more water reservoir it has, because the mycelium, once it does its first flush, it won't draw out all the water that's available in there. That's why it's 60% field capacity. You can go higher at 70%, but 60% is pretty good because it has that water that's right there that's available. Anything above that, then you might get pooling in the bottom of your bags, so then the mycelium will drown and you won't get full colonization. So that's how you do your 5-pound blocks or 8-pound blocks. Again, very, very low key, very, very low tech, very simple for people who just wants to start out. I got a couple more bags to make. I'm making 6 5-pound blocks today because I'm going to be transitioning into making sawdust spawn for the spring. So I have an area up by my building that I'm going to, actually 2 areas. One area I'm going to be jacking it up with King Stropharia, the wine cap, and then one area Morchella, the morel mushroom. So I'm glad you stuck around to the end. So the 3 ways to get started is, the first way is you can go out and you get yourself a liquid culture syringe. I know this is empty, but I'm just letting you know. You can buy them off the internet. I recommend liquid culture. You can just research anywhere and get them. So, but the bad thing is you don't want to get them during the height of winter where it's freezing outside, because if these freeze in the mail, it kills the mycelium inside. So just a reminder. So if you get one of these, that's the first step if you want to do it. The good thing about this is it's inexhaustible. I mean, once you get this syringe, you get yourself a mason jar with a lid and one of these PFTE filters, syringe filters, and then you just mix up a blank. If you don't have a magnetic stir bar or a magnetic stir, you can just put a marble in or a piece of glass. Or if you don't have a piece of glass or a marble, you can just shake this up really good. Make sure it gets a tornado twice a day. That way it breaks up the mycelium and creates a little satellite colonies. So the reason why this is inexhaustible is once it gets down to like a certain level, like down to here, what you can do is you can take a syringe and you can suck up a syringe full or half a syringe, and then you just create a new blank, and then you just repeat the process where you squeeze it back in, shake it up every day, and then it'll keep going and going and going. The second way to get started is to go out and find a mushroom kit. That way it's already fully colonized. You just bring it home, find yourself a tote. If it's one of those that isn't the commercial style where it's inside the box and you rip the box off and then you cut the eggs. If it's a real kit, it'll look like that. It'll be a block. So again, for that you just order one. It comes in the mail, and you go out and get a tote like I have over here. You cut an X and you spray, and you keep spraying until you get fruit. And the third way is buy grain spawn. Buying grain spawn is you skip a lot of the steps as far as having a liquid culture, then you're pressure cooking your grain, and then you're inoculating your grain. So you just have grain, and you go from grain to those blocks over there. So you're skipping a lot of the processes. However, the problem with that is you're always buying grain spawn. So if there's ever a shortage, or there's a delay, or who knows what's going on with anything in the world today, you won't have a constant supply of mushroom spawn. So those are your 3 ways to get started. And then this mono tub has been really rocking it out. More chestnuts. As you can see, I put this one in here on the 19th of last month. And what is it today? About the 6th or 7th. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it started to pin. You can see I put this one here, the blue oyster, in on 129, and it's already starting to pin. This one, 125, and I just got a small flush here. This one I put in the same date. I think this was, nope, this was on the 24th. And you can see I'm getting pins. So I'm going to have really nice flushes on this one. And the blue oyster, I just put this in there a day, 2 days ago. So I'm going to keep misting it, and then we'll see when it pops. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, tell yourself, tell your friends. Blessed be, and keep it fun, guy.